Hello, everyone. Hi, guys. When you come on, if you can just let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Hello, hello. Okay. Trying to see if we're live. Can you guys see me and hear me? Hello from Sweden. Can you guys hear me okay? Can hear and see. Okay, great. Thank you. So today I'm excited. We're going to be looking at some of the newest beautiful molds from Prima. And I'm just going to give everybody another minute to hop on and then we will get started. I don't know why I'm having trouble seeing myself on my computer. Try one more time. How's everyone doing today? Well, I guess I can't see myself on the computer. Facebook, when I logged on my laptop, it was a different setup and somehow I can't see my live video. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to do without. I'm not going to be able to see your comments probably. For some reason I can't pull it up on my laptop. So I apologize about that. But if you do have any questions that you need answered, the wonderful Natalie is going to be our moderator today. And she can help you with anything. And you can also leave a comment and I can go back and answer anything when I'm done. Wait, maybe I found it. Well, I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this on my laptop so that I can see your comments. And okay, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. So today I have some absolutely gorgeous molds to show you. The first one I'm going to show you is the aviary. Well, first of all, let me say I'm sorry. I always forget to introduce myself. I'm Shannon Helwig, and I'm on the Prima design team. And so I'm so glad you could be here with me today. And I'm just in love with these molds. They're so gorgeous. So this first one we're going to look at is the aviary. And can you see that? So pretty. It's got 3 birds and some flowers and a branch. And so I went ahead and made some of the molds. So these are the birds. Aren't they so cute? I mean, there's really so many things you can do with these. I love these birds. These flowers are out of this world. I love it. I did these on resin, so it might be a little harder for you to see the detail. They're gorgeous. So pretty. And then it comes with a couple teeny tiny flowers and a little leaf and a branch. And look at the detail on that branch. You can see like the lines where it looks like wood. Now something we'll talk about today, resin versus other things like clay. I recently have been trying like a plaster powder, and I've noticed it just gives amazing detail that I can't get with resin or with clay. It makes a perfect mold. The only thing is it can be a little bit fragile, so this might not work for some of the really intricate molds that have a lot of little pieces, because I find that they'll crack off, but they can be easily glued back on. So, but we'll talk about that later. So, so this is the beautiful aviary, and I did go ahead and paint a few. I painted these little birdies. And this one I painted and then I wiped it off with a baby wipe. And we can go over this a little bit more. Maybe we'll add some wax and some more details to these in a little while. So, do you guys like this one? I really love it. So let me just grab this and I'll bring out the next one. So, the next one I have for you is Coral Reef. And this is another great one. Now, see, a mold like this where it's intricate, it has a lot of, you know, detail on it. I used resin, and it came out really well. So that's the coral. We have this guy. And that. So many amazing elements to make some summer themed projects. And I love the fishies. Aren't they so cute? Now this I used the plaster powder, and see, you can see a lot of detail on there. Hope you guys can see okay. The resin I use, it's Alumilite. Let's see, Alumilite Quick. I think it's I'm sorry, it's a 2-part resin, and it's by Alumilite, and it's a pretty quick drying resin. So you don't have a lot of time to work with it, but it will dry pretty quickly. Let's see these guys. So this is resin here, and here is the plaster powder. Chris, I can't see your whole message here, but you're asking about the coral, how I can, when they're filled with resin instead of being open. How do you work with the holes? Well, what I do with the resin is I mix small amounts at a time because it is a quick drying resin and I don't want to waste it before I can, you know, get through a mold. And I knew a mold like this would take me a little bit of time. So what I do is I will pour the 2 parts into a little Dixie cup, and then I will kind of squeeze the Dixie cup so it'll make a point, and I'll carefully pour it in here. And then what I do is I'll take a toothpick, and you can actually move the resin around into all those little nooks and crannies, but you got to work fast. But yeah, I've found that a toothpick will work, and so you can get around all of these holes. And that seems to work really great for me. And then you let it dry in here, and when it's cured, pull it out, and this is what you get. Now, I did try the porcelain powder with this, and it cracked. It only cracked in one spot, which I was surprised, and I could glue it back together, so that was fine. Clay, I had a hard time with this. I couldn't get all the open areas. But it's all on preference. It's all on what you're used to using. Prima has an amazing modeling material. It's clay, and it's really soft. Let me show you. This is their modeling material, and you can get it in a 2-pack where it'll come with 2 of these. And I don't know how to really explain it, except that it's almost, it's smoother, much smoother than clay. It's very easy to knead in your fingers. It's just so easy to work with. Very pliable. So maybe we'll try one out in a little while, because I have a really neat tip to show you guys when you're working with clay in your molds. So stay tuned. So for this coral reef one, I did color a few of these, and I colored these with, it's Finnabare's Anemone and Coral Texture Fantasy Paste. So you get 3 colors, and it's just like the rust paste, only it's got different colors. This one is blue-green, this one is fire orange, and this is taupe rose. And they're amazing colors. I used all 3 colors on all 3 of them. I just used them in a different order. Like this one, I put the blue-green down first. And this one, I put down the orange first. And this one, I put down the rose first. So it just gives a slight variation in color. But yeah, these texture fantasy pastes are amazing, and they come in a lot of colors. I mean, I think there's 6 or 7 colors just besides the rust paste and the patina paste. You have a lot of neat colors. Old Walls is one of my favorites. There's a bunch, so you can check them out. They look great on molds. It gives a lot of texture. If you're using something like resin that's very smooth, you're not going to get a lot of texture when you color it. So using a paste like this that has grit in it, like a sand, it really brings it to life and really makes it look like coral. So I have that. So who loves the coral reef? Is this anyone's favorite? Oh, and I did, where are my little fishies? I colored a couple of the fishies. Where'd they go? Here, fishy, fishy. Where did my fishies go? Well, I guess they swam away for the moment. I'll hopefully find the ones I colored because I actually watercolored them. And I wanted to show you guys. So, let me clear this away. Okay, the next one I have to show you guys is Ancient Findings. And yes, these are in stores now. You can get them scrapbook.com. I think Natalie is putting the links to scrapbook.com for these, so you can find them. So this is Ancient Findings, and it's got some really neat pieces. Look at that. And now I use the ceramic powder on this. Can you guys see okay when I put it up close? I hope so. I hope you can see all that detail, because there's a lot. And there's a really big one. And then we have some small ones. And again, I used the ceramic powder in almost all of these just because I wanted you to be able to see that detail. And some of them are extremely thin. I mean, look at how thin that is. Can you guys see okay? Can someone tell me if is everything clear when I show up close? Oops. Ooh, and that didn't even break. I thought it would break. Here's another one. Now the thing with this plaster powder is you can get bubbles. So her nose had a little bubble at the very tip, but it doesn't really bother me. I don't care if they're perfect. I think it gives it more character when there's cracks and bubbles and things like that. So that's that one. I love this one. This one I did in resin. So again, I think you're getting an idea how there's a difference in the details between resin and this plaster powder I've been using. There's this one. I love this one. She's so pretty. And we have this guy. And this is the last one. No, the scrapbook.com, to my knowledge, does not carry resin. I think Amazon.com is where I got the resin. Look how thin that one is. So that's Ancient Findings. I think these are really neat. There's a lot of things you could use these for on projects. Give it a lot of character. Okay. So, I'm trying one more time to see if I can pull up the live video on my, no, I can't. I don't know why. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's that for these. Now the next one I have for you is, I don't know if it's Greco or Greco. All I think of is Richard Grieco. If anybody knows, he was an actor, I think in the 80s. So these, I don't know really what these pieces are supposed to be, just little decorative. And I did one in resin and one in plaster powder. The Prima modeling material, it doesn't take long to dry. I usually let the modeling material or clay dry overnight just so I know it's dry. But if you want to apply it to something that's curved, so I don't know what kind of furniture you're talking about, or I recently made an altered bottle and I put some molds on there. You can glue it while it's wet to, you know, a piece of furniture or, you know, anything rounded, and it'll dry just fine on there. So that's those two pieces. And then we have these that kind of remind me of columns. This is resin, this is plaster, and you can see I got quite a few bubbles in this one. But like I said before, it doesn't bother me. I think it gives it character, it ages it, you know, I think it gives it texture. So there's those. And then these are really pretty. And I did these both in the plaster powder. Something like these would look really pretty on furniture. And I put these on my canvases, on my mixed media projects, but they're very versatile. You can use them on anything. So who likes Greco or Greco? Got a couple more to show you, and then I just have a few tips and tricks for you. Not gonna keep you guys forever today. Okay, I think this is probably my favorite one because it's so neat and different. Vintage Roots. And we have some vegetables. Look at that. Now, I did use resin on this just because it had a lot of these little roots, I guess, on it. And I did do one in the ceramic, and you can see that some of them broke off, which I don't mind. Again, I used the rust paste on this. I used the red, brown, and yellow rust paste to color that. These are so neat. Let's see, I'll put this over here. And then we have a little mushroom. Isn't he so cute? I love the mushroom. And I also put some brown rust paste on one. And I thought maybe we could add a little wax or something to it after. So I guess this is supposed to be a carrot, yeah? And this, I'm not sure, a radish or an onion, maybe? I'm not sure. Do any of you guys know? And then this one. Again, not quite sure which one it is, but I love them. Oh, it's a beet? Oh, okay. I should know this, right? I just love, I mean, this is just about the cutest one I've seen. And just look at how they come to life when you add color. And again, with the rust paste, it just adds so much texture on here. Turnip, someone said? I don't know. So, whose favorite is Vintage Roots? Let's see the hearts, if this one's your favorite. I don't see any hearts. This isn't anybody's favorite. I love this one. So cute. I saw someone do a project where they glued these on the side of a watering can, and then kind of painted it, distressed it, and it was just so cute. I mean, what's cuter than to water your garden with a watering can with these on the side of it? Okay. Oops. Mushrooms flying out of my hand. Okay, we have two more, guys. This one is Wilderness Rose. This is gorgeous. We have this big rose with the leaves. Oh, you better be careful. Don't want to crack that. And this one. And then you have just the rose itself. And then it comes with a couple little itty bitty pieces. There's a stem. So you could, you know, kind of build your own rose. And you know, when you're using these on projects, don't be afraid to overlap, especially if you're gluing them on when they're still wet. You can really kind of make your own, oh, I'm sorry, I should show you that. Isn't that cute? And then we have a couple leaves. So you could kind of make your own rose. I'll show you a project I just made. I recently altered this bottle. I don't know if you guys can see. And I used these roses on it. And so it's kind of a flat bottle, but there's some curvature on it. So I glued these on while they were wet. And then when they were dry, and here I did use the Prima modeling material. And I'm not even sure if I waited until they were dry and then I put some impasto paint over it. And it all just dried very well. And then I used some of Finnabar's matte wax and old white to touch the tips of the flowers and just really bring it to life. So this was really fun. I really like how this turned out. I love to alter bottles. It's one of my favorite things. I was in a altering bottle phase for quite a while when I first started. Okay. We have one more. So whose favorite is the Wilderness Rose? You guys like that one? All right. The last one is Herbology. It's got this teeny tiny little flower. And then it has some massive, look at this one. It's quite large. Very tricky. I used resin on this one. I tried to use the ceramic powder with it, but I just, every time I tried to take it out of the mold, no matter how careful I was, it just kept cracking off because these are very thin and a lot of intricate pieces, but it's gorgeous. So I recommend probably using resin on this, maybe clay, the modeling material. You might still get some cracks, but I think it would work a lot better. And then I love this one. This might be my second favorite. I think I just can't wait to use these on projects. They're so pretty. And then we get a few more little pieces. Look at those. I was able to use the ceramic powder on these. Oops, see, this is exactly the problem. I used the ceramic powder. I took it out of the mold and it just cracked off. Oh, here. But, like I said, you can glue it right back on. And the last piece of this is this one. This is so pretty too. So, who loves herbology? Let me see some hearts. I see a few hearts. Oh, I see a lot of hearts. Okay. I still don't know what happened to my little fishies that I colored for you. Oh well. So, oh, I found them. They were hiding under my desk. There, these little fishies I watercolored. And I just quickly threw some color on. I wasn't really trying to do anything. Now this one was ceramic powder, I think, and this one was resin. And I did put clear gesso on both, but this one was sucking up the color way more than the resin. The resin, it was just sitting on top. But even with the clear gesso, this was soaking in. But like I said, I really just quickly did this, but you could really, I mean, don't be afraid to use anything on your molds. You know, you can use, let's see, you can use like Finnabar's Metallic and Sparks and Opal Magic paints. Her liquid acrylics are great on these, impasto paints, watercolors, the rust paste like I showed you, waxes are amazing, sprays are great, especially if you're using clay. The spray will really do some amazing things, like Prima's Color Bloom sprays. They look great on clay molds. And another thing I used is embossing powder, and I just want to show you. I know most people wouldn't think to use embossing powder on a mold, but it really gives a cool effect. Now this is a Christmas card I made last year, and if you can see this piece back here, it's an older Prima mold. I embossed it, and it turns out amazing. It's just like embossing any, you know, paper. This was Prima's clay I used, and so heating it up was not a problem. Now if you're going to heat up resin, just be aware that it's going to start to bend, and you can kind of melt it if you keep, you know, the heat on it too long. But yeah, I really think embossing these molds is a really cool way to add some color and texture to that. And some other things you can do on your molds are you could stamp on them. Now I know these ones really wouldn't work, but there's other molds that have more of a surface, you know, more of an area that you can stamp on. I like to use unicorn effect paste or glitter on top of my colors. You can use any of the texture paste, like paper paste, or Finnabar's white sand or crackle paste on the molds. That'll give them some texture. I like to add art stones on top of them once I have them glued on my project. And another thing you can use is tissue paper. Finnabar has tissue paper, and again, it probably wouldn't work on something like this that has such small pieces, but some of our bigger molds, that would be really neat to add some tissue paper to that. And so another thing, besides, you know, Prima's modeling material or paper clay or resin, you can use chocolate. These are food safe. It says right on here. You can use candle wax. Some people buy like the wax pellets and melt them, and you can have little pieces out of candle wax, and then you can glue it to a candle. That's a really cool thing to do with molds. Some of the very thin molds, and this might, this one might work. You can use Finnabar's icing paste. It's got to be a pretty shallow mold to work, and you got to let it sit to dry for a while. But I've seen her use them in embossing folders, the icing paste, but I have tried it in certain molds before, and it works really great. And so I just, I think molds are one of the best things you can buy for your money. It's just got such a great value because you pay one price for this and you can make as many molds as you want. So you have basically unlimited embellishments, and that's why I just absolutely love these molds, and they're so versatile and you can do so many things with them. So why don't we quickly just maybe add a little wax to some of these that I colored. Oh, I did use black gesso on these ones. I wanted to add some wax. I think the most important thing with molds is, no matter what you use, other than chocolate, is to add gesso, whether it's white gesso, black gesso, or clear gesso. It just really gives it some tooth, you know, to really, you know, be able to grab that color that you want to add. So these are some that I colored. And I'm just gonna grab a wax here. Let's see. So these are some of my favorite colors. I have, these are Finnabar's waxes. I have Firebird. This is such an amazing color. Oops. Look at that. So gorgeous. And one of my all-time faves to use is the white gold. I don't know what there is about it. It just adds such a beautiful effect. You can see I've used this one quite a lot. And I also love Peacock. It's a gorgeous color. So why don't we add some of these? Now you can use your finger or a stipple brush. I can use both. So let's try this mushroom. We'll add a little bit of the white gold. Look at that, bring out all that texture on it. I'm just lightly hitting the top of the mold, just the raised areas. Look how cool that looks. Gorgeous. Let's see. Since I have this on my finger, why don't I go over this one. And this one really has a lot of texture because I added that fancy rust paste. But the wax just adds a whole nother element and just really brings them to life, I think. Oh, I need a baby wipe. I'll just do a couple more of these because I do want to show you my #1 tip and trick before we leave today. So let's use a little bit of the Firebird here. And where do we want to go with him? Maybe on the bird? Look at that. I love the combination of the blue and orange. Isn't that pretty? Fingers. Let's try one I used. Ooh, look at that. Look how neat that looks. Black gesso and wax are a match made in heaven. And let's use the peacock. Ooh, look at that. Oh wow, that's really cool. Look how pretty. All of that texture. You can even add 2 colors. We could add a little bit of that Firebird. Just a few touches. Wow, love that. Gorgeous. Okay, so I just have one more thing I want to show you guys. And let me just quickly move these because it's my #1 tip when using molds with clay, I should add. Let me just clear my surface here. Rust paste all over the place. Okay, so the very first thing I like to do when I'm using clay or modeling material in a mold is I like to just dust a tiny bit of cornstarch in the mold. You can also use like a vegetable cooking spray. I've used that before, but sometimes it can make it really slippery. So I just dust a little cornstarch if you need it. Sometimes you don't. Let's see. Let's try a fishy. That's something easy enough. What else was I looking for? Okay. Might not even need cornstarch in this because it's pretty small. But these are my secret weapons. This is a fondant roller, and this is an icing scraper, and they're baking tools. You can, I know Walmart has these, and also the baking section of any of your craft store has these. And I have used this for a long time. It really helps. Not so much with these little pieces here, but with harder pieces. So I just knead the modeling material a little bit in my fingers, and then I press it in there, make sure I cover the whole area. Okay, now a lot of people will just use their finger and scrape the excess off. That's fine. I like to take my fondant roller, it's really kind of like a rolling pin, and I push down and roll, and so that really pushes it in there and flattens it out. Then I take my icing scraper and just scrape away the excess clay. So look at how easy that was. So we have it in there perfectly. So all we have to do is pop it out now. So what I like to do is just kind of gently kind of move it around the sides to loosen it up. Okay. And then I just flip it over, and there we go. We have a perfect little fishy. So that, my friends, is my best advice. Now, like I said, this was kind of a rather small mold, so I didn't need the cornstarch, but sometimes your clay will stick in there, especially if it's a textured piece. So just take you know, just a tiny little dusting of cornstarch in there, just a tiny bit, and it'll really help to release your mold. And then take your fondant roller and your icing scraper, and it has worked for me for years. So that's my best advice. And I'm gonna end on that note because I can't think of anything else to tell you at the moment. But if you have any questions, go ahead and write them in the comments, and I will go over them. I'm sorry I couldn't really see your comments during the live today. But thank you all so much for spending time with me. I hope you love these molds. Like I said, they're available right now. I know scrapbook.com, I think they have all of them in stock. If not, they might have one out of stock, but all of your favorite craft stores should have them in now. And I hope I showed you some new ideas on how to use these and color them, and just have fun with them. So thank you, Natalie, for moderating for me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, thank you so much for being with me today, this afternoon. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.